Hopefully everyone's having a great day out there. But before I wrap up the Death Guard Codex, I want to talk about 3 units that I really enjoy and liked in the book. That's going to be the Plague Drone, the Blight Hauler, and my favorite, the Plague Burst Crawlers. So stick around and stay tuned. Welcome everyone, the Black Rage here, coming to you live with another exclusive video. And I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the Death Guard Codex, guys. But today I want to do a little bit into the 3 units that I wanted to talk about. So that's going to be the Bloat Drone, the Blight Hauler, and the Plague Burst Crawler. So let's get right to it, and let's go to the whiteboard. I really like this unit. I was kind of like blah about them, but you can take them into units 1 to 3. I mean, they have a movement of 10. They're now weapon skill, ballistic skill 3, so that's huge, and you don't really have to take 3 of them, but you can if you like. They're still toughness 7, and I think these guys have either went up in wounds or down wounds. I can't really remember, but I know they have 9 wounds. They're still T7. They still have their demon save and their disgust and resilient. Now, on the flip side of this, what's cool about these guys is they are kind of diverse. They have a long-range missile launcher, which can fire crack or frag missiles, which frag missiles are blast, which isn't too bad, so if you're going to get small units. Or they also have the multi-melter, which when things get close enough, they can just burn down. So these guys are still relatively good. I've set up a little scenario here for them. So in this case, if you're taking 3 of them here, and then let's say in the deployment zone, I would deploy them here, okay? If you're going first, as always, even if you're going second, put them behind this building. So I'll have my big line blocker here as always, some kind of terrain here, big heal here. So I would deploy them behind this building. We would just say that if this is blocked here, then these guys will be shielded by the building. You have your Drukhari guys up here. I always use Drukhari just because. So you have a Venom here, a Raider here, a Ravager here, and we'll just say a Ravager here. And then there's some Incubi, maybe Warriors or whatever troops that we're going to use here. So for Unit 3, these guys can put out a tremendous amount of firepower. I mean, that's 6 Melta shots right there. It's 3 missile launcher shots. So even if they're just sitting back here and maybe just waiting for something to come around this way, or maybe come around this way, or whatever the case may be, they can still put out a high volume of firepower. And on top of that, their ballistic skill 3, which is by far probably the best thing that happened to the demon engines in Death Guard so far. Or if in a scenario you're using only one of these guys, I'd get them behind a rock, behind some kind of terrain here, just for a cover save, because they already have a 3-up save. You can go to a 2-up save. You still got your 5-up save, invulnerable save in case something happened. If you're going first, maybe second, first, whatever, but you're behind something so you don't get intercepted here by a Ravager, or same here, intercepted by a Ravager. You're basically just trying to minimize your firepower as much as you can. So, and in case like turn 2, if you're playing a bunch of these guys, you can drop 1 here in objective, drop 1 here if you're going first. Try to get on objective, or if you're playing with other things, but this is just an example for these guys. 2, frag missiles for things that are tough 3. I mean, you can, people running more than, I think I want to say 6, you get an auto 3 with the roll, or if you're running more than 10, then I think numbers 11 or higher, it's an auto 6. So you can fire frag missile shots still, and hit these guys here if needed, hit these guys if needed. And then if something gets close enough here in this area, whatever it is, something big, scary, a Talos, or anything that's monstrous, then you have your multi-melta fire that can fire there and just blah, obliterate them. So if it's Drukhari's turn or something, let's just say you made a mistake and you got a little too far out here. There's a Raider here, there's a Ravager here. So you already know there's gonna be 3 Dark Lances coming your way, maybe 1 Dark Lance coming here. If the guys inside could have Dark Lances too, so there could be more Dark Lances. You can use a stratagem called Belching Fumes. So I'll just read to you what it says. It says, use a stratagem at the start of the opponent's movement shooting phase, select 1 Mythic Blight Hauler unit, from your army into the end of the phase. Each time an enemy model makes an attack with a ranged weapon against this unit, reduce the number of attacks made with that weapon by 1. Okay, so not the greatest against Drukhari, because if they're taking, you know, 1 shot here, maybe 3 shots here, you can drop it down to 2 rather than have 3 pouring at you. So not really a bad tactic there. But it's just these guys are just hard to get rid of because they're, you know, the T7, discuss resilient, and, you know, if you have 3 to get here in this area somewhere, you know, they can get within that objective and just hose something down with 6 melted shots. So I would say these guys, they are relatively still good. When they were 100 points, people were running 9 of them, and that's just really insane. I'd hate to be the person fighting that, but hey, you know, to each is their own. It's still kind of a fun thing, I guess. So yeah, guys, it's just really simple. These guys aren't too bad. There's their stats, you know, if you guys want. You guys already pretty much have the book, so I'm just viewing tactics here. So let's move on to the bloat drone. All right, guys. So I'm back with the bloat drones here, and I actually really love the bloat drones in this edition. They really have changed a bit. So they went from having 10 wounds down to 9 wounds. They're still T7. They still have their weapon options. The Flesh Miller is probably my favorite one of all, just because it gets a whopping 12 attacks when it charges. With the new with the new contagion rule that does a minus toughness. So the first couple turns, it's low distance. I don't want to say it's engagement range turn 1, and then turn 2, it's 3 inch. Turn 3, it's 6 inch, and then turn 4, it's 9 inches. But most people will probably include Mortarion just because it gives that auto 9 just from the start. So probably my favorite unit. So in this scenario, I'll say Flesh Mowers all the way. So here, oops, got the wrong marker, oh no. So for me, drones always advance. If you're running the Flesh Mowers, turn 1, try to either put them behind something. Depending on what you're fighting, you don't necessarily have to move these guys far. If you're going against an assaulty army, you can keep these guys here for counter assault. So when someone gets close enough here, you can just jump forward and just chew them up. Same thing here. Advance, go as far as you can, try to get in here because these things are still kind of annoying to kill. And then same thing here. If you're going against something, you know, that's charging heavy or whatever, just wait for the counter, you know, to get here. Just wait for them to come here. So, but if you're playing more aggressively, it's going to be the other way around. These guys, you want obviously something in the back here to maybe hold this objective. I'd send these guys all the way forward. Here's something hiding here. You can just cover this area, try to get on that objective there. Or same thing here. This drone can go here or go that way. Just try to get into cover, whatever. But if you are running the Plague Spears, the Twin Plague Spears, my only drawback to that is they're great, but rolling a really low number, and it's just like, you know, if you have multiple of these, you have 3 Plague Spears, it's just, you can always roll that double 1, double 2s, or something really low. But you're guaranteed, once you get into combat, you're guaranteed to have 12 attacks. Even if you're down to 1 or 2 wounds, you're guaranteed to have 12 attacks. And the cool thing about these guys is if you're fighting something fast that's coming in, and let's say you're here, you can use Dark Cravings if something comes in. Maybe one of your guys get charged here. Dark Cravings allows I want to say it's a 6-inch heroic intervention. Yeah. So basically you act as a character and you can spin a command point to have your guy covered here, and he can do a 6-inch charge there. Or if you really want to feel ballsy and you just want to get over here, if you somehow survive, you make it this far, you say you make all your saves and everything, and there's these guys over here or something in this area or whatever happens, you can essentially blow the guy up. And I gotta say, with Pure Trid Detonation, 1 command point blows your drone up automatically. So I've done it to actually kill off a bunch of things, but these guys are just so damn scary. Just 12 attacks, guys. Strength 7, AP -2, and 2 damage. With Contagion, so you're dropping toughness, you're shredding Marines on 2+ rerolling 1s because of Plague Weapon. So it's not that bad. I mean, I think I see a lot of people on Facebook and YouTube, they're running Fleshmores. I mean, just straightforward advancing and just get into their face. These guys are just, they're heavy. So that's my point with them. So let's go on to my Plague Burst Crawlers. So the way I arm my Plague Burst Crawlers right now in 9th edition is with the Entropy Cannons, and that's probably the only way you can probably arm them right now. The Plague Spears, probably in 9th edition, not too great to me because of Overwatch being now only once and it's a command point to use. So I say the best way for these guys, armor with Entropy Cannons. Their Entropy Cannons are now plague weapons, guys, and they're D3 plus 3 damage, so you're just going to destroy tanks or anything that's far away. So we'll start here. This guy here, most likely, like again, Drukhari, 3 Ravengers here. We have Raiders, or I'm sorry, Venoms here, and some ugly, whatever that is there. Probably we'll say he's a Talos, I guess. So these guys can cover a lot of ground, and you don't have to be anywhere up here in this area. You can stay back here. You can bombard something here with the Plague Cannon, bam. You know, same thing here, Plague Cannon, bam. Same thing here, Plague Cannon, bam. I'm gonna say that again, bam, like Emerald Lagasse used to say when he used to cook. Bam, there you have it like that, all right? In that case, if needed, you know, these cannons are good. They hit on 3s, and they're 8 minus 2, and their damage is 2 now, rather than the random D3. Now, another thing you can use them for is hitting stuff on objectives, you know, tearing things off objectives if needed with those cannons. It's D3 shots and it's blasts, so if it's something that's over 5, you're getting an automatic 3, and you're still rolling dice to try to hope you can get a good number above that. Or anything that's over 10, you're getting a straight 6 shots. But against stuff like that, Ravengers, they don't want no, I mean, Dark Lances are going to D3 plus 3 as well, but the problem with that is Ravengers are toughness 7, I believe, 6 or 7, somewhere around there. We don't have the new book yet, but 6 or 7. Entropy Cannons are strength 8, AP minus 4. So a firefight here with that versus this, I think I'm gonna have to give my dibs on the Plague Burst Crawler. Why? Because this is toughness 8 against toughness 6 or 7. You're wounding on 3 versus this wounding on 4s. And this has more wounds, I believe, but this also has the 5-up eye save, and you're also subtracting one of the damages. So assuming if you're playing Math Hammer, 2 of those Dark Lances will hit, probably 1 may wound. You could possibly shrug that off. But for them trying to shrug off an Entropy Cannon and the mortars, that's gonna be a little more harder. So, and another thing is, like, you have things back here. Let's say, for instance, they have 3 wounds, they're higher. I love the stratagem now, Disgusting Force. So basically what that does, it makes your Plague Burst, your cannon, your mortar becomes damage 3. So against Marines or anything that's like 3 wounds, Eradicators, aggressors and things like that, most likely they'll pop Transhuman Physiology on you, but it's worth a shot. Anything with 3 wounds or higher, you're gonna pop that stratagem. And assuming if they're clustered around other units here, or whatever that's around, let's just say it's a cluster, you wanna hit something in the middle, because on 4, you're gonna do a mortal wound to each of those units around you. So basically it's like the old Tesla rule from the Necron. So, which I think there's a command point for them as well. Not sure, but there's some options there. These guys are just super strong, man. I mean, when I played my games, they live pretty well. They can cover ground. You can put them on objectives if needed and just bogart. I've had to charge one into a unit of Marines. Or I'm sorry, not Marines, but Tau. Charging it, I charged a Plague Burst Crawler into a Tau Christ suit. It didn't work out too well for me, but I was able to tie him up at least. And now with the new rules, you can't fall back and shoot if you're fly. I mean, unless you're Ultramarines, of course. Plague Burst Crawlers, to me, I love them. They're core. Well, they're not core, but for me, it's like a core unit. Like, it's a guaranteed take for me. So, again, you know, you have just so much ground you can cover here if needed. But the 48-inch range cannon without the line of sight, you don't really need to be exposed. And if you really need to blow something up, you move here, get that 36-inch range onto something, use entropy cannons, you don't get the penalties for moving and fire heavy weapons now. So that is a win for me. That's gonna do it, guys, for the 3 units. Let's head back to the seat. So guys, that's gonna wrap it up for the Death Guard. I gotta say, this is an amazing codex. I give it, out of 10, I'll give it like a 9.5, close to 10. Great book, a lot of diversity. The units are great. It's just a fun codex. And it's just really good to see Death Guard on top, and it feels more like a Death Guard army to play now. So whether you're playing Crusade casually or competitively, it feels really good to have a great army right now. So I'll leave that there like that. Also, guys, keep continuing to hit the like and subscribe button. I would really appreciate that, and thank you guys for the support so far. It does take a lot of time to make these videos, and I'm gonna keep working on projects, upcoming projects and stuff. And I really appreciate the support. Also, I'm a part of the Hobby Badger game store now in West Sacramento, California. So please feel free to check it out. We don't have a website yet, but my buddy, he opened up the store. Go check out the page. It's Hobby Badger Games, and you can find out how you can get 10% off on any kind of merchandise that you purchase. So head on over there, check it out. I'll leave a link in the description. And once again, guys, thank you so much. I think I may be covering Drukhari next. That's gonna be a project. So I'll be back with the whiteboard and everything, and it'll be so much fun. Once again, guys, thank you, and have a blessed and great day.